Welcome to the Bella Vista Gardening Program. I'm Geri Hoerner, president of the Bella Vista Garden Club, and my guest today is Halley Crowe, and she is the president of the Benton County Master Gardeners. And today we're going to be talking about the Master Gardener Program, what to do in your garden in June, and other gardening events coming up for the month. So June is kind of a time to be doing garden tours, and it's the time we reap the benefits of doing all that planting in April and May and seeing the gardens just bloom with color. And one of the activities is the Bella Vista Garden Club Garden Walk. This is every other year, and it's going to be Saturday, June 4th. So if you're watching this program before June 4th, you still have an opportunity to see the gardens. And we have 6 gardens and 2 nurseries on the tour. Tickets are available at both the nurseries, the Village Garden and Landscape, and From the Ground Up. And they're $8 in advance, $10 a day of the tour. So they're also available at Arvest Bank at Town Center and Delta Bank at the Highlands Gates. So you can still get a chance to see the tour if it's early in the month you're watching this. If not, you'll have to wait 2 years and see the tour in 2 years. And then again this month we have a Meet the Masters segment to show you. And this month we have Vicki Halley as our Master Gardener. And she is from Siloam Springs and has a wonderful vegetable garden and herb garden too, I believe. A lot of herbs. So. And anyway, she's being introduced by Dawn Denton, who is the Master Gardener. So let's go visit Vicki's garden.
Vicki and John Halley, who live in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. They live on a beautiful 2-acre residential lot. And everything that you're going to see this evening, they have built and planted over the last 5 years. I hope you'll enjoy it. Oh, look, there's Vicki out in the vegetable garden. Let's go and see what's for supper. Whose idea, Vicki, was it to do the vegetable garden?
It was my husband John's idea. He saw it in a magazine and thought it was really cool. John has a lot of cool ideas, and so it's not what I would have done, but he wanted to do it, and he designed it, and he laid the stone, and he did everything to it. All I have to do is just put the plants in it.
Vicki, I see you're growing a lot of tomatoes. What kind are you growing this year?
Well, Dawn, I'm trying heirloom tomatoes. I went online and checked it out and found a place in California, and they offered so many different varieties, stuff I had never even heard of. So I'm pretty excited about it. Kind of got crazy. I think we'll have tomatoes for the whole town, it looks like, if they produce. Well, my garden style is very eclectic. It's you get a plant, dig a hole. My biggest challenges are the fact that I'm in a hurry to get the plant in a hole, that I don't prepare the beds properly. I just hurry up, get it tilled up, and put the plants in. I don't take the time to amend the soil and to get the weeds out, and that creates problems down the road.
Wow, Vicki, it looks like you have got quite a wildflower garden going.
Yes, I do. This is, I'm very proud of this. I'm just very excited every day to come out here and see what has bloomed every day. It's some different flower that I didn't know was here. The zinnias have reseeded themselves. The cosmos, I'm going to yank it out though. It gets huge, and with our wind here in Siloam, it blows over. And the sunflowers are volunteer. Wow. They all came up. So, and then I did buy some perennials.
And is this the comet that you were talking about?
This is the comet. I was in Hobby Lobby, and they have a comet, and it has a blue crystal ball in it with the ironwork, and it looks like the comet. Well, Halley is our last name, and it's Halley's Comets. My favorite in public garden, we just started doing this 2 years ago, John and I, on vacation. We try to seek out public gardens, And when we were in San Antonio, we checked out that garden, and it was really nice. It was so hot. It was hotter than today, and but it was very enjoyable. And I have been to the St. Louis Botanical Garden with my mother, and I like all of those equally well. And but there's a tour in Tulsa that I really like. It's a natural wildlife habitat tour, and you go to 5 people's gardens, and there's certain criteria that they have to use, and so those gardens are very nice to look at because you get to see what other people are doing, you know, what the average person can do. And I come away from there with a lot of ideas. And then at each home, all the nurseries are selling plants, so you can purchase plants, and it's just, I like doing that. Living in Georgia, we lived in Georgia for 8 years, and it's a beautiful, every place is landscaped in Georgia. They just do a fabulous job of landscaping, and they use pine straw. And we tried to find pine straw when we moved here, and they wanted $8 for a bale of pine straw. Well, that's a little bit ridiculous. So we were going to Georgia in January and had to take my son some furniture, and I told my husband, I said, you know, we've got an empty trailer. We should probably see about bringing some pine straw back. So we brought a whole bunch of pine straw. I forgot how many bales it was, but it was quite a load. My garden specialty would be, I am striving for a 4-season garden. And so far, I'm up to about November. I would like to get better and have December and January and February covered, but I just am really, I don't know how that happened, but it was just one day it dawned on me, like, oh my gosh, I have something blooming all the time, and it's kind of exciting. My favorite publication would be Rodell's 4-Season Landscaping. It's a wonderful book. The 4-Season Landscaping book, it just goes into extensive plant detail and tells you, you know, the plants to put in the garden that would provide 4-season interest. And I've kind of used that to get an idea for what plants I need that would give me the 4-season interest. The earliest childhood memory I have of gardening would be going to the nursery in 2nd grade. There was a nursery just right up the road from my grade school in El Dorado, and we walked up there and everybody got to pick out their mother a plant for Mother's Day, and I picked out touch-me-nots. I knew nothing about touch-me-nots, but that, and then of course, you know, all the plants you put in the styrofoam cup and VBS, you know, those were always memorable. Something about myself that no one would guess, but I think my cover's been blown right now with this video. If you haven't got it by now, I'm a plantaholic. It's a major addiction for me. I don't think I'm really going to get any help for it. I just kind of like having it, and I've learned to live with it. So it's just who I am.
Well, Holly, I just love those Meet the Masters segments. I just think they're so much fun to see the different gardens and the different master gardeners.
They're really wonderful, very well done.
They are. And Dawn Denton is a great master gardener. She's author of children's books. That she's got a series of 5 books.
Yes.
And I think 2 of them are out so far.
2 are out, and they're available in a lot of bookstores.
Right.
And I spoke with Dawn about the books. She's actually going to be at the Farmers Market in Bentonville on Saturday the 4th, which is this coming Saturday. She'll be there from 8 to 1, and she'll be selling her books, and she'll also autograph the books. And they're wonderful gifts for children, and they're beautifully illustrated and wonderfully written. So,
and they're just about critters in the garden.
They are.
Each time she writes a book, it's about a little frog, or you
Right.
know, or the first one was a ladybug.
The first one
No,
was
hummingbird.
a hummingbird, Ruby and Rocket, and the
Right.
next one is a toad. Oliver
Right.
the Toad is
Oliver
the name
the
of
Toad.
it.
So she's got some wonderful books
She
coming
does.
out. But there's a lot of things going on with Master Gardeners this year.
There are a lot of things going on with Master Gardeners. We're always busy, and we've got a great group of people who volunteer and do a lot of things in the community. Master Gardeners is, as you know, a community service organization, and we work to beautify the community, and we also like to educate people in the community. So we have a lot of new programs that are, one that I'm particularly excited about that I think is going to really be great is a presence at the farmers market in Bentonville on the square.
That's going to really be
We're going to be there once a month. We were there just this past Saturday, but there will be a group of Master Gardeners on the square every month throughout the
is
summer.
it the fourth Saturday or third Saturday?
I think it is the fourth Saturday. There may be some different dates, just depending on they've done a theme for each month and for each week, and they've tried to tie in with the theme. So the Master Gardeners will have an educational booth, and they would like to meet as many members of the community and educate them about their particular topic for that month. And it's also an opportunity to learn more about Master Gardeners, and if people are interested in becoming a member, then that's a good way to get information about how to do that.
Well, sometimes people think that if you're a Master Gardener, you have to know everything about everything, and it's not really true. The training is basically to train you to research, to find the answers to the questions that people have.
Exactly.
So it's great training, but you don't have to know the botanical names of all the plants.
No,
or
really
be
you
an
just have
expert.
to have an interest.
Right.
Just have an interest in gardening and being willing to learn, wanting to learn, and
to
that's
help
really,
people.
that's all that's required. And
right.
I'm still learning. We're all learning
yeah,
every day.
every
We learn
day.
from each other. That's one great thing about the group is that
Well,
we're
when you
able
stop
to learn.
learning, I think then we're going to be on the other side of the green grass.
Exactly,
So-
exactly. Yes, you're right about that. We're not ready for that.
No, but you can sign up if you're interested in taking the classes. They're only in January. They have the classes in January
Right,
and during the day.
right,
And if you are interested in taking the classes, you could call the extension office.
right.
It's
271-1061.
you
And
just call them and put your name on the list. They'll send you an application like in
Right.
April, in
they do
September.
that in the fall, September,
October.
October. Another time that we have when we sign people up to be in the training classes at the fair, the Benton County Fair.
Right.
We have a fair booth every year. There's also there's always a theme for the fair booth, and it's an educational theme about gardening. Last year we did herbs in the garden, and the year before that we did butterfly gardening, which I think was a very successful booth. A lot of the kids really enjoyed
that
that.
was
We
a
had
great
live
booth.
caterpillars and got to see a lot of them turn into butterflies before the fair was over. So that was really a great booth. But
They have wonderful themes. At
They
the booth,
do,
So it's
and-
something to look forward. Do we know when the fair is
the
this year?
fair is going to be in August. I think it is mid-August. I don't have the
Okay.
dates.
Well, we'll be
but-
talking more about that in
Right,
the shows
that's
in
still
July.
that's coming up in
Right.
August, but they will have a booth there, and there will be a theme for the booth, and that is an opportunity for people to inquire about the Master Gardener program and also to sign up for the training class that will be held in January. So that's another great thing that we do every year.
And the Growing Up Green program has just mushroomed and
Right.
grown so much. When I started out as a Master Gardener in, I think, 1999, our program for Growing Up Green was about 2 schools, and we went and we planted tulip bulbs or something in little pots in about 2 schools. Now,
Right,
they have just gone
they've done a lot
into,
of projects.
A lot of projects, the
Right.
butterfly gardens.
We've done a lot at R.E. Baker. One of our members is a teacher at R.E. Baker, and she helps us a lot coordinating programs at R.E. Baker. They have a large greenhouse there. We help plant seeds and plants in the greenhouse with the children, and that is another educational
Right.
thing that we do is work with the children in the school system to help teach them, and hopefully they'll develop a love of gardening at a young age and
And
be
Lou
lifetime
Jasper
gardeners.
has been instrumental in getting
Lou
the
has.
Sunshine School involved.
She has, and that's another
That
great
is-
great project that Growing Up Green is doing, and they go and work with the children at the Sunshine School. A lot of the Master Gardeners volunteer to do that. I think everybody enjoys being around the children, and that's
And the
a great...
handicapped children are just not handicapped
Right.
when it comes to gardening.
No,
they're
not.
just like any of the other children.
Right.
they're just great to work with.
And I think sometimes they teach us more
They
than we
do.
teach them.
That's true.
So
That is
it's a
true.
great opportunity. But those
It
are
is.
several of our projects that are really good educational projects. And I think you did allude to the hotline. We do
Right.
have a Master Gardener hotline that we run through the County Extension Office. And that's a place where people who have questions can call, and it's staffed Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning from 9 to 12, and then in the afternoon from 1 to 4.
Right.
So anyone that has gardening questions can call that Extension Office number,
Right. There
which
should
we
be
will
something on
we
our
will give again later, I
screen
think,
to
and,
show
and
the
people
number.
can call there if they have any gardening questions, and the Master Gardeners are there to help with that.
Well, if the Master Gardener doesn't have the answer right there, they can research it and call
Right,
back or
right.
mail information. I mean, you'll get your question answered.
Yes,
you know,
and
one
we
way or
have a
the
great
other.
resource room with many books and lots of resources. So and we have Mark Bray,
Oh,
who is
yeah.
the county extension agent, and he is always ready and willing and available to help us with any questions that we may have
Right.
that come from the public. I found out actually the Master Gardener programs are in every state in the nation, and even some in Canada. They're not in every county, and they do go county by county. Arkansas, however, has, I believe it's 62
62, I
out
think
of
it is.
75 counties have a Master Gardener program. But the reason that the Master Gardener program was originally developed was to help the county extension agent, because he got so many questions from the public and he was not able to answer all the questions by himself.
Right, and they get so diversified with all the farming and agriculture questions,
bet.
and sometimes they didn't get into too much of the home, gardens,
Vegetable
and
gardening and flower
landscaping
gardening,
and flower and
right.
perennials. So
Right.
it was just to help them basically expand their
Exactly.
knowledge,
Exactly.
expand their service.
And we have a great, Mark Bray is one of our extension agents here in Benton County, and Robert C. is the other. They're both very knowledgeable, and we're very fortunate to have both of them, and they have been very supportive of
They
the Master
certainly
Gardener
are.
group in our county.
Now we're doing something else at the courthouse also, isn't
We
it?
are doing a project at the courthouse. I'm afraid because of the bad weather we've had recently, it's been curtailed a little bit, not only because the site is wet, but because the county judge, Judge Kleinert, has some other things he's got to take care of right now. But we are planning to do a planting in front of the Benton County Courthouse, and I think that might be also in conjunction with Compton Gardens. But yes, there is a project that will be done there.
Well, we do a lot of projects, and I think sometimes people think we'll come to their house and we'll plant their plants, or we'll maintain a garden, and we really don't do that. What we do
No.
is we help. We will plant plants if they are paid for by the person that needs the plants
Right.
planted.
It's
you know,
really
and
for public spaces.
public spaces.
And we don't like to maintain gardens over the years. We like to do the initial design. We're willing to do that and consult with people about that. Also help install the landscape project. But then we like to teach them how to take care of it, and then let them do the maintenance from year to year.
Because we don't have the manpower
Right.
to be maintaining
Well,
gardens.
we wouldn't be
but-
able to take on new projects if
Right.
we just continued to maintain all the ones that we have done in the past.
Right.
So we do have that project with the Benton County Courthouse. We're going to have a new
It's
project
pending.
with Pathfinder, which is a group that works with developmentally disabled adults. They're going to have a new location in Cave Springs.
Wonderful.
And we're going to do a landscape project for them in the near future. So we have a lot of things. There are a lot of projects that are just one-time projects. Others are ongoing, not
And we
necessarily.
keep an ongoing situation with the Peel House
Yes,
and
we
Compton
do, and
Gardens.
Compton
We
Gardens,
constantly work with them.
we
and
do,
continually work with them.
We do a lot of help with a lot of their special events. We also do a lot of the planting at the Peel House in particular. Several of the Master Gardeners have trained to be docents at Compton Gardens so that they
Right,
can
and
do
then
tours.
also you were just in a meeting today with Crystal Bridges. So the
Yes.
Master Gardeners are very involved with the trail guides
Right,
at Crystal Bridges.
Right,
You
the
have to be
trail
a
guides
Master
will
Gardener
Be a Master Gardener, yes.
to be a trail
So-
guide.
Yes, so that's a group of, we have several new Master Gardeners that went through the training class this year because they're planning to be guides at Crystal Bridges. So
and that's going to be so exciting.
It's going to be very
Can't
exciting.
wait till that opens
I
up.
can't either. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous,
It
beautiful every season of the year. So
we have a lot to look forward to.
we do.
We
have
really
a lot
do.
to look forward to.
And things to do in June. We have to look forward to our gardens in June.
Right.
So June is kind of the transition month between spring and summer, and you have to finish your plantings, and then you can sit back and enjoy your plantings after all the planting and mulching and cleaning up is finished. So we have.
Geri, one of the things that I tend to do, and this is not particularly good, so I want to tell everybody else not to do it. I tend to wait a little bit too late to go get my plants because I think it may not be warm enough, and I don't want to get them in the ground too early.
Well, they sell the plants too early.
Well, I think maybe you're right about that. So
before we can put them in the ground,
and
then they want to get that sale in, and it's not ready to plant.
But you need to get your annuals and get them planted in June, because otherwise there's not going to be much left, and it's going to be a little bit too late for them to get a good start. So this is the time to get annuals early in the month of June, really. And I actually, one little tip that I'd like to give too about annuals, if you're planting in pots, I like to mulch my pots, not just around the beds, but also mulching your pots, because that helps retain the moisture in the pots, which dry out quicker than the beds do. And I use
the crystals too in my pots to retain the moisture too.
But also with your annuals, you need to pinch off those dead blooms for a couple of reasons, because it makes the blooms continue throughout the summer on plants that will continue to bloom. If you pinch off the dead ones, then they'll bloom more profusely.
And they'll get bushier.
But it also just makes them look better.
It does.
So
it does. And the herbs, it's the last time to plant in June, so you also want to deadhead your herbs too. You don't want your basil to bloom. You have to pick those blooms off. And so they'll get a little bit bushier, and you can make more pesto that way. And the bulbs, you can plant your spider lilies and your naked lady bulbs. We call them naked ladies, but they're really Madonna lilies, and they bloom in August. But you can plant those now. And after your spring bulbs the foliage has turned brown, you can take them off. Usually it's 6 to 8 weeks. And if it's still green after 8 weeks, you can cut them back, because they only feed their bulb for about 8 weeks. And you can do your successions of gladiola plantings. I don't plant gladiolas, but if you want to have continuous bloom, you can plant them like at a week interval. Plant a group and then plant another group, and they'll come up at different times. So.
And it's also time that the daylilies are going to start blooming. I know mine are up, and they're pretty tall. I've got some buds, and I think I have a few of the Stella d'Oro that are blooming already. So those are coming up. Perennials also are ones that I like. I love perennials. I have a lot of perennials just because I'm lazy, I guess. I don't want to have to replant every year, but they're beautiful flowers. And they're also good to deadhead. You need to deadhead after they've bloomed, and you can actually sometimes get them to rebloom also. But it just looks better when you deadhead and take those old blooms off. And you need to pinch back your mums to remove the buds up until July 15th.
Yeah, because then they'll start blooming in the fall instead of the summer. So. On the lawns, you have to fertilize your Bermuda about every 30 to 45 days, and you want to mow to a height like 1.5 inches to 2 inches. And then the fescue, you want to mow to like 2.5 to 3 inches. You don't want the fescue that low. But they require at least 1 inch of water a week, so be sure that they get enough water if we don't get rain.
Right, and we probably will stop getting rain pretty soon.
The faucet will be turned off, and then we'll go into drought.
And then we'll be looking for the rain that we've been having.
Right.
For roses, you need to watch for aphids and fungus at this time of year, and make sure that you fertilize those established rose bushes. They're heavy feeders.
Yeah, they are.
And don't get any water. Be sure to water before you apply the fertilizer to your roses. And you need to water deeply if we don't get at least 1 inch of rain per week. And I hate to say this because nobody wants to hear it, but June is when the Japanese beetles
arrive
appear.
in June.
So,
and you just have to tolerate them. There's nothing you can do. I mean, people spray for them, but then you're spraying the good insects and the beneficials. So you just have to learn to live with them. It's
like the deer. I think we just have to learn to live with them.
Work around them, or anyway. Trees and shrubs. If you've planted any trees and shrubs, then you need to make sure they get enough water, and you can do some pruning if you see some dead limbs, or you see a little misshapen, you know, evergreen, you can do some pruning in the summer and June, and then you can enjoy it for the rest of the year. And you want, when you do mulch your shrubs, you want to leave a little bit of space between the trunk and the mulch, because if you have the mulch right up against the trunk, it could cause some rotting and
holds that moisture in.
Right, and then the insects will be right up against there. So just leave about an inch space around your base of your shrubs before the mulch hits it.
Right.
So
that's a good tip.
And
I don't know about you, Geri, but I'm looking forward to some fresh vegetables.
Oh, I am
There's
too.
nothing like a fresh tomato. There's just no taste comparison between what you get in the grocery store and what you can buy at
what
the
they grow
farmer's
in the
market.
grocery
So-
store tastes like the container, like the cardboard container.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to some fresh tomatoes,
Right.
and we should be having some harvesting soon of those vegetables.
Well, with this rain, we have been so delayed.
It may be delayed because the tomatoes like hot weather,
and
so
they like
it may
sun,
be.
and we haven't had much sun in
So they
in
may
April
be a little
or
late.
in May. And my lettuce got beat down with the hail and the rain, so our lettuce may be a little bit later than normal, but it will be coming. as soon
Hopefully
as we
we'll
get-
have tomatoes for our 4th of July picnic.
Well, we certainly hope so.
That's what I do.
Anyway, but I want to thank you for coming today.
Well, I'm glad you
And,
asked me. Thank you for inviting
If we
me.
have any other questions about gardening, remember the Master Gardener hotline. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. And just call 271-1060 and you'll get a Master Gardener. And they can answer your questions. And they have their hotline, their website is bentoncountygardening.org, and there's a lot of information on that website. It's a wonderful website. And also, for more information, the Bella Vista Garden Club website is bellavistagardenclub.com, and we have a lot of information on our website too, and a lot of links to different areas. We've submitted our website for a national award, and we haven't heard yet. I should hear shortly if we won a national award for our website. But everyone that goes on it just loves it. It's easy to
Well, you know, I
maneuver.
hate to say I haven't been on it, so I'll need to do that.
It's really easy to maneuver,
Okay.
and we have a lot of information, and we have a wonderful webmaster. Sue Jacobson does it for us, and she
You're
keeps it up
fortunate.
to date.
Good.
So, but the Bella Vista Garden Club is kind of taking a hiatus over the summer. We have a new president coming in June, Janice Kennedy, and she's a master gardener.
Yes.
And so I won't be president after June 1st.
Well,
So I'll get my garden in
that's
shape.
tomorrow.
Well, yeah, we're taping right before June 1st. And, but our meetings will resume, the garden club meetings will resume in September. September 28th at 11:30 at the Lutheran Church. You're certainly welcome to, anyone's welcome to attend, and we don't know what our program is going to be yet, but
Do you have a speaker every meeting?
we have
or?
a program every meeting, a speaker, and we have a little light lunch, and then we have our meeting, and we have a horticulture exhibit, we have a floral design exhibit, so there's a lot going on at the meetings.
That sounds like
And
fun.
like I said, they're starting again on September 28th, and we're hoping that we'll have more members join the garden club after
That would
this
be
coming
great.
year. Right. So Holly, thanks so much again for coming
Well,
and telling us about the Master Gardener program.
I'm
and
always happy to talk about the Master Gardeners. It's a great
It
program,
is.
and I would encourage anyone that has an interest in gardening to check us out.
That's right. We're there
Yes,
all
we
the
are.
time. So I hope you've enjoyed the program, and we'll tune in again next month. And until then, don't forget to stop and smell the roses.